raiders doing in these ruins? I hope Aaron is okay.
Guerrilla Games announced a few days ago that it planned to host a May 2021 PlayStation State of Play event for its upcoming Horizon Forbidden West, claiming that it scheduled the showcase to give fans their first look at how the Horizon Zero Dawn sequel plays. The developer didn't provide specifics on what fans could expect from the reveal, only stating it would be 20 minutes total, with 14 dedicated to gameplay the developer captured using a PlayStation 5. After a 5-hour pre-show displaying new details such as Horizon Forbidden West's day and night cycle, Guerrilla Games finally delivered on its promise with gameplay, doing so by playing out a portion of one of its story missions. For the 5 hours leading up to the start of the Horizon Forbidden West State of Play event, a video has been running. That video shows multiple camera views, each a perspective looking into the world of Horizon Forbidden West. These cameras not only show different regions, but also the same regions at different times of the day. As such, players get to see what the world of Horizon Forbidden West looks like at dawn, noon, dusk, and midnight. In one example, a large tower in the foreground stands apart from a metal devil in the background, with a settlement in between. A photo of this Horizon Forbidden West region at dawn paints the area in golden hues, with deep shadows cast from the tower and mountain ridges. Cut to the same area at dusk and it glows red as daylight fades, with torches beginning to light up around the settlement. Finally, a late-night view shows the area in deep blue, dozens of orange torchlights and campfires spread through the valley. It's not a surprise that PlayStation and Horizon developer Guerrilla Games are choosing to highlight these environments leading up to the show. Horizon Zero Dawn is perhaps best known for its outstanding visuals that make the most of a day/night cycle that really lets the game's lighting, shadows, and environmental details stand out. Horizon Forbidden West looks to continue delivering award-winning visuals. Horizon Forbidden West isn't just showcasing environments in higher graphical fidelity than Horizon Zero Dawn's, but better, of course. These environments have impressive new levels of verticality, implying a much deeper system for movement and exploration. It also shows a much more diverse range of biomes, from lush deciduous and coniferous jungles and forests, to dry deserts and snowy mountain peaks. The day and night cycles of different locations, and the rays of sun passing through the fog and waterfalls, and the sea is fantastic. After a 5-hour pre-show displaying new details such as Horizon Forbidden West's day and night cycle, Guerrilla Games finally delivered on its promise with gameplay, doing so by playing out a portion of one of its story missions. Once the mission ended, Forbidden West's narrative director Ben McCall walked fans through the spectacle, contextualizing what they saw and detailing all of the upgrades Guerrilla made after Zero Dawn. The quest Guerrilla used sees Aloy rescuing her friend Aaron after he comes under attack from a rebel faction of the Tenix clan. During a mission she deployed him on one where she requested he obtain a specific piece of technology that will help fight the Red Blight. During her search and rescue, Aloy displays new combat abilities with her spear and bow, as well as the new polecaster and shield wing tools, which allow her to traverse the world in new ways. The Horizon Forbidden West gameplay also reveals a host of additional new weapons and returning features for Aloy to take advantage of as well, including Valor Surges, which upgrade the spear and give it various abilities. Smoke Bombs, which Aloy can use for cover. Javelin Launchers, which allow Aloy to throw spears with splinter effects into enemies. Adhesive Grenades, which combine with Aloy's slingshot to stop enemies in their tracks. Precision Arrows, which return from the first game to help Aloy strip machines of their parts. The spear gameplay shows just how much Forbidden West's combat improves over Zero Dawn's, as Aloy can do things with it that the player wished she could in the first title. For instance, she can seamlessly transition between the spear and her bow, as well as access combos and abilities that offer different advantages when used. All in all, everything Guerrilla displayed during the event seems to have made the wait worthwhile for eager fans, even without an official release date. This is the best looking game I have ever seen, and it will evolve throughout as time goes on, in which the developers will understand and take advantage of the full potential of the PlayStation 5, as I have said the same thing for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I cannot wait to see what God of War will look like, and I am pretty sure it will be a massive leap compared to the previous game, and also Horizon Forbidden West. Both have different art styles, but it will look better. Whenever a company hosts these kinds of presentations, many fans go in expecting there to be some kind of release date announcement, especially when it's around E3 season. Those that tuned into the Horizon Forbidden West State of Play presentation weren't treated to any kind of release date announcement, unfortunately, though the lack of a release date may actually be a big clue as to when fans can expect to play the game for themselves. Horizon Forbidden West release window is said to be a vague 2021. This means that fans should be able to expect the game to drop anytime between now and the end of the year, but with no release date announced during the State of Play, it's likely safe to rule the third quarter out. That means that the Horizon Forbidden West release date is almost certainly sometime in the October to December window. If Sony and Guerrilla Games do manage to get Horizon Forbidden West finished and on store shelves by the end of the year, then a safe bet would be the game launching in November. November tends to be the month where game companies drop some of their biggest releases, as it gets them out right in time for the holiday season. Reports indicate that November is when Microsoft is going to launch Halo Infinite, and it's been outright confirmed that the Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl release dates are in November as well. Assuming the Halo Infinite release date rumors are accurate, that would leave Sony as the only one of the three console manufacturers without a big November game release lined up. If Horizon Forbidden West is able to finish development and be ready in time for a holiday release, then it stands to reason that Sony would likely try to position it in November to compete with the offerings from Microsoft and Nintendo. What was shown during the State of Play will likely inspire confidence in fans that Horizon Forbidden West will meet its 2021 release window. Sony and Guerrilla Games showcased a whopping 20 minutes of fresh Horizon Forbidden West gameplay footage, showing Horizon Forbidden West protagonist Aloy in a variety of environments. In the new Horizon Forbidden West gameplay footage, Aloy is seen in a jungle, underwater, on a beach, and more, with all of the action rendered with some truly stunning graphics. The important thing about the Horizon Forbidden West footage shown during the State of Play is that it seemed to be legitimate, genuine gameplay, and highly polished at that. This would suggest that Horizon Forbidden West is very near to the end of its development cycle. But then again, there is precedent for Sony exaggerating when it comes to some of its titles, with one of the most infamous examples being the Killzone 2 PS3 demo, another game that was developed by Guerrilla Games. While some may be somewhat cautious about the Horizon Forbidden West State of Play for that reason, it seems unlikely that Sony would make that mistake twice, and so it's a safe assumption that development on the game is going quite well. However, one would think that if the game truly was coming to the end of its development cycle, that a release date would have been announced to cap off the State of Play. With no Horizon Forbidden West release date announced during the State of Play, it will undoubtedly have some fans worried that the game may miss its 2021 release window and slip to 2022. While nothing to that effect has been announced, and Sony itself has stuck to the 2021 release window so far, it's certainly within the realm of possibility. Video game delays happen all the time, especially with AAA titles like this. Months ago, industry insiders and proven leakers suggested that Horizon Forbidden West's release date would be delayed to 2022. The lack of a release date announcement at the State of Play seems to lend credence to those claims, but fans shouldn't get worked up just yet. The lack of a Horizon Forbidden West release date may just mean that Sony itself isn't completely sure if the game is going to release in 2021, but that there is still a possibility. So right now, fans shouldn't necessarily hold their breath that the game will launch this year, but they also shouldn't stress about the possibility of it being delayed to 2022. It is a bit odd that there was no Horizon Forbidden West release date announced at the State of Play, but it's a clue that points to a lack of concrete release date behind the scenes and doesn't necessarily mean anything bad for the game. But my opinion is to release the game November 15th, the date where Xbox celebrates its 20th anniversary, if the game is ready. The last demo shown for Halo Infinite turned into a disaster, which pushed the team at 343 to delay the game a year, which is supposed to release last year, as a console launch title. Since Bungie left Halo, the franchise has been massacred by 343 and Phil Spencer. They have no respect for their flagship franchise and for Master Chief. And it really hurts to see a legendary franchise like Halo being killed and seeing Craig memes, and it's all disrespect. They need to fix the game or port the IP to another studio. So I would like Horizon Forbidden West to launch on November 15th for a spicy competition, which will push and motivate Xbox to do something good. Overall, Aloy looks beautiful as ever she has been. The world and its environments are gorgeous, and I think we will go to other continents using teleportation. The gameplay has been improved from the previous games with more innovations, and it is solid. The NPCs are good, and the grappling hook arrow, the glider and underwater exploration are on another level. The 3D audio is phenomenal, and I can't wait to play this game, and I really want this game to release this year. I wonder how will this game run in a PS4, only time will tell.
Well, this time, I have a present for you. I found it, Aloy. Huh? What'd you send me for?
Moving forward, we have two other gameplay showcases to cover, that also aired on May 27th, and it's a big day for gamers. Following Techland's tease on Tuesday, Dying Light 2 held a lengthy broadcast earlier today, revealing tons of new details about the upcoming sequel's world, characters, and narrative. However, the centerpiece of the showcase was a new gameplay trailer, and the announcement of a release date, with the follow-up officially slated to launch on December 7th for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. As for the new footage, it showed off combat, enemy types, factions, choices, and plenty of other aspects Techland has previously discussed in the build-up to the sequel's release, while also offering another look at the striking environments that make up Dying Light 2's central setting. The entire clip clocks in at just under 8 minutes and provides a broad look at the game, segmenting it into its most important aspects. The first of these to get a spotlight is the game's story, with the trailer introducing protagonist Aiden Caldwell and beginning to flesh out his motives. It reveals that Caldwell is attempting to unravel a tangled mystery from his past, seeing him arrive at the city in search of answers and being met with its bloodthirsty undead occupants and warring factions. Meeting and allying with these various groups will be a big part of the game, with the lineup including the militaristic, law and order-focused peacekeepers, a band of ex-convicts known as the Renegades, and a group of veteran survivors known as the Night Runners. Players can assist these groups or make enemies of them, with their allegiances determining the fate and appearance of the city. They'll also have to tangle with less friendly groups, such as bandits, outlaws, and thugs. The trailer makes plenty clear that the game's parkour-infused combat will continue to be a huge part of Dying Light 2, as players can deal with these human enemies with hard-hitting, blunt force weapons, agile hand-to-hand combat, or nimble blades, which can cut off limbs or send opponents flying from rooftops. It seems stealth will also factor into the title, with one section showing Aiden climb up a building and throw an unaware bandit to his death. Of course, players will also have to tangle with zombies. As fans of the last game will no doubt know, night is when the undead are at their most dangerous, with the trailer teasing that new, evolved zombie types will emerge once the sun goes down. However, it seems players will be able to better use this to their advantage in the sequel, with the infected leaving their nests, and allowing players to scout the areas for resources and upgrades. They can also use it to ward off human enemies, who will hide from the undead when night falls. The sequel is shaping up to an interesting expansion on the ideas of the first game, and one of the bigger titles slated for this year. Pavlachik explains that there will be over 3,000 different unique animations that players can experience as they run, jump, and climb their way through the rooftops of the city. The parkour of the original Dying Light with its 1,500 different animations or so was already a topic of praise among fans and critics, so this will certainly be on an entirely different level. It also seems that players will be able to unlock specific moves depending on their choices, with things like the trampolines shown in the trailer being learned from certain factions. While Dying Light put an emphasis on staying on the rooftops to avoid the infected, that is taken to the extreme in Dying Light 2. It is explained that a chemical attack has rendered the ground practically unlivable, and the devs describe it as though the ground level belongs to the infected and the rooftops belong to humanity. Players will need to use these diverse parkour skills in order to get around and escape enemies, especially if they find themselves out and about during the nighttime when tougher variants of the infected come out. The developers emphasize that the iconic Dying Light 1 parkour is essentially there, they improved it. There will be a wide array of standard moves, a chance for players to show off with tricks during parkour, as well as what Pavlacek describes as small little tasty details. It seems as though killing the infected will be only half the fun in Dying Light 2, as players are sure to get drawn in by its detailed parkour system. Given the ambiguous ending of the first game, players can infer what might have caused this to happen, but developer Thomas Gerbod gives a brief summary of how society fell in those 20 years. Gerbod works at Techland as Dying Light 2's world director, so there's really no better place to get this information. He opened up about the story during the Dying 2 No More event on May 27, and fans can presume that they'll learn more in the next episode of the series. According to Gerbod, the confinement of the citizens of Hayron served to keep the virus contained for a while, and eventually everyday people started to forget about it. During this time, a small group of scientists were secretly doing research on the virus in an effort to find military or commercial uses for it. As part of this research, scientists experimented on and mutated the virus to new levels, and this naturally didn't go well. By the Christmas of 2021, the virus escaped a lab and began to infect people. Thanks to the mutation spurred by the research, this virus was able to spread much faster than anyone could have anticipated. Governments scrambled to try and contain it, but it only took a few years for civilization to fall. In a last-ditch effort, the city of Vilder was founded as a bastion for mankind. Even this didn't go as planned, as there was still infighting amongst the city's various factions, and a deadly infected problem running wild. Players find themselves in the middle of this mess when Pilgrim Aiden Caldwell finds himself in the city. While this all makes sense, it curiously leaves out any details about Kyle Crane, the protagonist of the first Dying Light. Players wanting to experience the story for themselves with the Platinum Edition of Dying Light should turn back now, but Crane's ending should definitely come into play in this story. At the end of the final story DLC for Dying Light, Crane himself is turned, but this time while outside the wall. It's highly likely that he has something to do with how the infection spread as well. The new Dying Light Platinum Edition will include every single piece of the game's extensive DLC, and at a significantly discounted price. The announcement of Dying Light Platinum Edition comes as part of Techland's first episode of Dying 2 No, a series of presentations regarding news and updates for Dying Light 2. The streams celebrated the Dying Light community, which boasts an astonishing 23 million collective players, and has given the game a 95% positive rating on Steam. Dying 2 No also provided plenty of details for the highly anticipated sequel, including gameplay mechanics, new characters, and more. Dying Light Platinum Edition contains every single bit of downloadable content released for the game over its extensive 6-year history. This includes everything in the following: Be the Zombie, the Bozak Horde, Cuisine and Cargo, and unique Hellraid DLC, not to mention the array of cosmetics and weapons drops, totaling an extra 20 pieces of content compared to Dying Light. The following. While a comprehensive version of a game such as this is usually expensive, players can get their hands on it for less than they probably think. The list price is $100, but right now the Platinum Edition is only $25 on all platforms. There currently isn't any clear indication of how long the pricing will last, so interested gamers should be sure to jump on the sale sooner rather than later. While Dying Light Platinum Edition's offerings are surely impressive, it pales in comparison to the $10 million Dying Light Special Edition. The incredibly expensive version was one of a kind, and offered its own set of equally incredible perks. The buyer would essentially be made into a movie star, with a supporting role in the now-defunct Dying Light feature film. The package included acting lessons from Roger Craig Smith, parkour training, off-road driving lessons that included keeping the car, and much more. While Dying Light Platinum Edition may not include a jumpstart to an acting career, it's pretty inarguable what a great value it is. The entire presentation, between the release of the new edition of the first game, as well as the in-depth look at Dying Light 2, is leading to overwhelmingly positive reception from fans. Just a few months ago, many believed the game was stuck in development hell, and may not ever see an actual release, although those worries have at last been alleviated. Since players can't change the difficulty mid-game, they will need to quit to the main menu. From here, choose Play and then choose Campaign. Instead of jumping right back in, navigate over to the Advanced menu to find the difficulty options. Players can choose between Story Mode, Normal, Hard, or Nightmare. Story Mode is effectively the equivalent of Easy in Dying Light, and makes everything much more manageable. Crane will be a lot tougher, deal more damage, find more supplies, and more. Players may opt for Story Mode for any number of reasons, but it will probably see a lot more use at the moment. Some players simply want to play through Dying Light in order to get a refresher on the story, and it's understandable that these fans wouldn't want to deal with the standard difficulty of the game while doing so. Others may just find Normal a bit too challenging, and Story Mode offers an alternative that is still just as fun. Regardless of the reason, players using Story Mode will still get the full experience of the world building, exciting parkour, and even some of the scares when it comes to running away from volatiles in the nighttime. That's all there is to changing difficulty. On the flip side, players with a bit more confidence in their abilities could opt to take on hard or even nightmare difficulty, but be warned that this is very challenging, especially on the first playthrough. It may make more sense to play through the game on normal, and then up the difficulty to nightmare during a new Game Plus run. The Dying Light 2 showcase confirmed that there would be 4-player co-op in the sequel, but fans are wondering if that was the case in the original game as well. Telling the story of everything that happened leading up to the outbreak that brought the world to its knees, many players would prefer to face the terrors of the original Dying Light with a friend at their side. It should be good news then that Dying Light features co-op with up to 4 players. It's important to note that this is an online-only feature, meaning there's no couch co-op involved. That said, the ability to play through the story, all side quests, and DLC missions in 4 players co-op is a breath of fresh air for players feeling bogged down by an emphasis on single-player video games. In order to start a co-op session, players must first make it past the tutorial and survive their first night in Harran. All of this should take around 45 minutes to complete, after which fans are free to engage in all the jolly cooperation they'd like to. Starting a co-op session is easy as well. Simply use the matchmaking inside of safe zones or directly invite friends using the system's invitation method. While playing cooperatively, players can progress through the story together if they are both at the same part. For this reason, it's advised that players stick close together in terms of story progression, or else they may run into issues with one player either not receiving experience or having the story spoiled for them. There's also a competitive multiplayer mode that lets players take control of an infected, providing asymmetrical gameplay that is surprisingly fun. While Dying Light 2 seems to have innovated on much of what made Dying Light great, this is certainly a great place to start to get ready for the upcoming game. And finally, we had a Sonic 35th anniversary presentation by Sega, which is a stellar feat. Sonic is one of the most iconic and one of my favorite characters in entertainment, and I think many would agree with me. Earlier today, Sega held its first Sonic Central virtual event, where it announced several upcoming projects for the 30th anniversary of its Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. While there were details regarding merchandise, a free concert, and related content in other Sega games, like the Sonic the Fighters arcade game being included in Lost Judgment, what fans were especially desperate to see were new game announcements. There were a couple of leaks prior to the event that gave away some of Sega's planned reveals, including a compilation title. A listing for something called Sonic the Hedgehog Collection was spotted on a retail website less than a week ago, and Sega has not only confirmed its existence, but also its name and which games will be included. Simply titled Sonic Origins, it consists of 5 of Sonic the Hedgehog's earliest and most popular games from the 90s. Specifically, it includes the first Sonic the Hedgehog from 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic the Hedgehog CD. Sega didn't confirm much else, like release platforms or an exact release date, but it did mention that the collection will come with added content and features as well. While this isn't the first time any of these games have seen a re-release, having all 5 in one collection certainly makes them more accessible for newer fans and a perfect opportunity for older fans to revisit them. The biggest additions are Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, since these 2 games haven't seen a re-release in years, and, of the 5 games, are the only ones to have never received a mobile port. Leaker Zippo said earlier this year that the two games would finally get a re-release as part of a collection, and would undergo some changes, which matches up with Sega's official announcement. Given the accuracy, it's possible that some of Zippo's other Sonic-related claims are true as well, such as two new games with one being entirely 2D and another being entirely 3D, as opposed to the 2D/3D hybrid games Sega has released in more recent years, like Sonic Generations and Sonic Forces. While there were plenty of announcements, hopefully, Sega will have even more to share at E3 2021. With it in attendance, it could confirm some additional details for the already announced projects, although it does have other franchises besides Sonic that it may want to give some focus towards. They also introduced Sonic Colors Ultimate, a remastered version of the popular third-person and side-scrolling platforming game released on the Wii in 2010. Sonic Colors Ultimate will bring the classic Sonic game to Nintendo Switch surprisingly soon. It will officially launch on September 7th. While the official Sonic Central livestream didn't provide much information about Sonic Colors Ultimate, it's confirmed that the upcoming Sonic game is a remaster and not a new game or complete remake. This is simply delivering one of Sonic's most popular adventures to new platforms with a visual overhaul. That said, it's possible that Sega's made further improvements, or will be adding something new to Sonic Colors. It's probably not best to make any assumptions, however. Expect more information in the months ahead. Regarding platforms, Sega will have Sonic fans covered regardless of where they choose to play. Sonic Colors Ultimate is confirmed to be coming to PS4, PC, Stadia, Switch, and the Xbox One. It doesn't look like Sonic Colors Ultimate will be innately supported on PS5 and Xbox Series X/S at launch, but it will work via backward compatibility. Another important note is that the PC version of Sonic Colors Ultimate will be available through the Epic Games Store. It can't be understated how important this announcement is to the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom. It's not just that Sonic Colors is often argued to be one of the best modern Sonic games that employs 3D visuals, though that's important too. It's that Sonic Colors has previously been strictly available on just the Nintendo Wii, a 15-year-old console that's not widely available anymore. Sonic Colors Ultimate will bring the game to a new generation of Sonic fans. Some might question how easily Sonic Colors will port to modern platforms. After all, it is a Wii game that did allow for some motion control mechanics. Luckily, the game also offered non-motion control options when it originally launched. Sonic Colors Ultimate will assumedly employ those as its base control scheme. The short teaser trailer for Sonic Colors Ultimate revealed an impressive visual overhaul for the remastered game, and Sega did hint that there could be more to the game worth looking forward to. Expect further updates in the weeks and months ahead, perhaps as soon as E3 2021 in June. They also announced an all-new animated short based of its iconic mascot Sonic the Hedgehog. Titled Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps, the animation looks to expand upon the story of 2010 Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps is the first installment of a two-part animation series set to debut this summer. As can be seen in the trailer, the short looks to possibly be a retelling of the plot of Sonic Colors, albeit with full dialogue and a fully voiced cast, including the return of two legendary franchise voice actors. Kate Higgins, who voiced Miles Tails Prower in Sonic Colors, is reprising her role for the first time since 2013. Additionally, and more significantly, fan-favorite Sonic voice actor Roger Craig Smith will be returning to his role as well. Smith just yesterday revealed his return after announcing he was stepping down earlier this year. However, the biggest surprise was saved until last, with the franchise's creative officer Takashi Iizuka announcing that a new addition to the franchise is currently in the works over at Sonic Team. No official title was given to the game, although it did receive a cryptic cinematic trailer and a release window, with the title slated to hit PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One and Xbox Series X next year. The footage itself doesn't give much away about the sequel, although it does hint that it'll have some sort of technological focus, with the clip teasing various sci-fi elements throughout its 32-second runtime. The teaser itself shows Sonic speeding through a scenic forest landscape, with the mascot eventually glowing cyan as the camera pans to reveal he's surrounded by some sort of purple, tech-focused energy. The footage then zooms out, showing Sonic charge out of view using the mysterious power as a propellant. To make things even more cryptic, the clip then cuts to a strange symbol before the trailer comes to a close. There's not much to go off in terms of what type of Sonic game it will be, although the trailer definitely suggests it's a huge new experience for fans to look forward to. The last mainline Sonic title came through Sonic Forces, which saw players create their own avatar and join forces with the Blue Blur and his team of iconic allies. It had a mixed reception at release, with reviews praising its ambitious concept but criticizing its level design, shallow mechanics, and lack of innovation over prior titles. It'll be interesting to see what direction Sonic Team takes with this new iteration, especially with the franchise having lain dormant for several years since Forces debuted back in 2017. As for the rest of Sonic's 30th anniversary broadcast, the event offered an array of new projects for plans to look forward to this year, including a remaster of Sonic Colors titled Sonic Colors Ultimate and a collection of the game's early iterations titled Sonic Origins. The character will also crop up in a host of other games, with Sonic-themed content coming to Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, the official video game, 2 Point Hospital, and Lost Judgment. The latter will feature an in-game arcade cabinet that gives the player access to Sonic the Fighters. It seems Sonic fans have a lot to be excited about going into the second half of 2021 and beyond. The presentation does mention it is the first Sonic Central, leaving the door open for future installments to announce more content. With plenty of gaming industry events happening over the next few months, and the fact that Rise of the Wisps is part 1 of a 2-part series, it should be interesting to see what else Sega may have up its sleeve for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. It's good to see some of the legacy franchises coming back to light and allow us to relive our memories, mixing past with the future. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and if you want to contribute for the growth of the channel, the link to my PayPal in the video's description and in the channel banner. As my resources are very limited, donations are always appreciated, and it can help me to create more contents and share news consistently, and could open doors for live streams, game playthroughs, podcasts, merch, etc. Thanks for watching the video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.
Aloy? Aloy! Watch out!